Now by this time you've probably heard what's happening in Texas, unless you haven't had television, radio, or internet because you're in Texas. But essentially what has happened is that Texas, a state that is known for its year-round hot temperatures, hit freezing temperatures and it was not equipped to handle it. So what happened was, when it started freezing, residents all at the same time started plugging in their electric heaters and shutting down the power supply. It's basically like when I know I have a lot of work to do, but instead I curl up in a ball in my bed and I do none of it. Now, in addition to the power grid failing because of overuse, people's pipes started to also freeze, so now people were without water. So now you're in a situation where there's freezing temperatures and residents have no utilities. And as is the case with any tragedy, leaders from across the country, state, and even Cancun got to work immediately trying to figure out who to blame. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott was quick to go on Fox News and single out renewable energy like windmills as the main reason for this debacle. Let me just repeat that for everyone in the back. He blamed windmills. What are you thinking? It's as if the media started mocking Ted Cruz for blaming the Cancun trip on his daughters, and Craig Abbott was like, you know what? Hold my cerveza. And shockingly, Abbott wasn't alone, because this caused climate change deniers from across the world to chime in on the conversation and say, yes, we agree, renewable energy sources are the problem, and that is why people are freezing with no utilities. But here's the thing, windmills only account for 7% of Texas's power. The rest of its power comes from natural gas, oil, and people bragging about how big stuff is in Texas. So while we're still figuring out what's happening in Texas, let's be clear about a few things. Number one, this was not the sole failure of any one power source. Number two, climate change should not be a partisan issue. Number three, Texas toast is friggin' amazing. Okay, I know that's not what this rant is about, but who knows the next time we're gonna get a Texas-themed rant. I need to shoot my shot. But let's talk about number two, shall we? Freezing temperatures in Texas, which happens to be a red state, is not something we've ever seen before. And it's a reminder that natural disasters do not follow partisan lines. So if we think about what's happening in Texas, and we think about what has been happening in California, a blue state, such as earthquakes, droughts, and fires, you realize that this is not a partisan issue. We all need to come together because we're all being impacted. And we can't let people like Governor Abbott use this as an excuse to attack much needed climate change solutions. Maybe the state would be better off if Abbott himself lost power. Nothing. Climate change isn't a matter of opinion, it's a matter of scientists. 97% of scientists agree that human-made climate change is a real thing. That's a lot of scientists. Okay, I mean, only 4 out of 5 dentists agree that you should floss. And I'm just thinking, if we continue to treat climate change like a political issue, does this mean that we have to treat other things like political issues as well? Will seasons become political? I mean, we already made Merry Christmas a partisan issue. I refuse to also give up season's greetings. Is the temperature outside also gonna become a political issue? Like, I know Al Roker said it's cold outside, but I don't like who he voted for, so I'm gonna rock shorts. You know why? Because hypothermia is a liberal conspiracy theory anyways. Or even medicine. Do we start questioning if vaccines are good and bad depending on which party encourages us to take them? Oh, that's already happening? Man, the world makes it really hard to be funny. All jokes aside, what's happening in Texas is heartbreaking. And the reality is things are probably gonna get worse. When we see issues like this in Texas and California and other parts of the country, you realize we really need to come together. So that's the hard truth. And if you don't like it, I got some windmills you can blame. Knock yourself out. Oh my God, thank you so much for watching the show. If you click here, I think you can subscribe to the channel. If you click over here, more clips just like this one. Click them.